But if you're inside of your safe structure, your safe house, or a garden, if you're having any trouble doing that, just mentally ask for assistance. And your guide that is with you right now at this moment will guide you. They will help you to get to a place where you'll be able to see them. And explore wherever it is that you are at. Just explore. If you're inside of a structure, what is the floor like? The ceiling, the walls, open concept, a lot of rooms, little rooms, big rooms, windows. If there's a window, go look out the window. Any pictures, paintings on the wall, go look at them, stand in front of them. You may not understand what that picture is of at this moment, and that's okay. Now I want you to find a room or an area in the place that you're in that's big enough for 2 chairs to face each other. And they can be any kind of chairs that you want. Make them whatever you want. And they're facing each other. And I want you to go and sit in one. And you're looking at the empty chair in front of you. Look at that chair. Now look at the floor or the ground where the 2 front legs of the empty chair touches the floor or ground. Look right in that area. I'm going to count to 3. And at the sound of 3, you'll see a pair of feet of another person. 1, 2, 3. You'll just see their feet. You'll know if you can't see them and it's not quite clear, that's okay. It will come clear. You will know. You're very aware at this moment. Are they wearing sandals, bare feet, shoes, boots? Whatever they're wearing. Now I'm going to count to 3 again. And you'll be able to see from their waist down. 1, 2, 3. You'll be able to see what they're wearing on their lower body. You'll just know. You'll just know. And just pay attention to that. That's absolutely very good, positive training, to pay attention to your awareness. When you're aware of something, pay attention. Now I'm going to count to 3 again. At the sound of 3, you'll be aware of, or you'll be able to see from the neck down. 1, 2, 3. You'll be able to see or be aware of what they're wearing on their upper body. You'll be able to see their shoulders, let your eyesight follow down, and you'll be able to see their hands. If you ask them mentally with a thought to lift up their hands and show you the front and back, they will. Now I'm going to count to 3 again. You'll be able to see their head, but be focused on their hair. 1, 2, 3. You'll be able to see their hair, if they have any. They may have no hair, and that's okay too. You'll see the top of their head. Now let your sight just go down, and you'll see their face. If you can't see their face, but you could see the rest of their body, that's okay. Just pay attention to your awareness. That happens with an awful lot of people. Even though we're anxious and we consciously make a choice, we're going to do this, sometimes our mind, our subconscious mind, they just, they just kind of put up a few little blocks for you. Don't just be aware. Pay attention to your awareness. But if you can see their face, you'll be able to see their nose, their eyes, their mouth. If you ask them to smile, they will. This is your spirit guide. And I'm going to ask a series of questions. And when you're first starting out working with your guide, word the questions so that the answer is yes or no. Don't ask them to make any choices for you or to answer questions that would lead to a choice. They can show you consequences of different choices that you would make, that would help you make a better choice. Now I'm going to ask the questions, and I want each of you to let your guides know that it's okay for them to give you the answer as soon as I ask the question. And I'll word them all so that the answer is yes or no. If you don't do that, they're not going to infringe on your free will. They're not going to give you the answer to my question unless you tell them that it's okay. They will always respect and honor your free will, always. So if you tell them, just mentally tell them it's okay. You're here for the experience, and that just speeds everything up. And I'll ask the questions, I'll word them so that it's you that's asking it. Have you been my guide all of this physical life? Yes or no? And pay attention to the first thing that just pops into your head. Poof, yes or no. And if you can't, if your mind hasn't let you see your guide, that's okay, just go with that. But the answers will still come to you. They're still there. And allow the answers just to come to you, no matter where it is that you think that you're sitting, or if you're not aware of, just let the answers come to you. Have you ever been my guide in any of my other physical lives? Yes or no? Have I ever been your guide when you were in the physical body and I was not? Yes or no? Are you my principal spirit guide? Yes or no? And this guide that is sitting with you right now, giving you these answers, I'm going to count to 3. At the sound of 3, a first name will just pop in your head. 1, 2, 3. Don't just whatever that name was. Sometimes if it's from a foreign language, it's hard to us to pick that up, but do the best that you can. And whatever name that just popped in your head, that is the name that your spirit guide will respond to. Spirits as such really don't have names as we do, because we have a physical body, but they will use them for you because they're your spirit guide. And whenever you need or feel that you want to talk with your spirit guide, all you need to do is just say that name that you just heard, and they will come to you. This is your spirit guide. How many people are aware or can see a spirit in front of them? Just raise your right hand. Good. This is your spirit guide. They are a being of love. They have volunteered to come with you, to walk with you, to guide you. By being able to sit and just sit and talk with them, makes everything so much easier. Your job of life, of being happy, and also their job of being a guide. One of the many, many, many different things that you can do with a spirit guide is to be able to regress back into a past life. The way that we're going to do that, where your guide's going to go with you, and I'm going to go with you, and you can tell your guides that it's okay for them, that you're going to allow them, for them to pick out a life where kind of a positive past life, where you'll be able to see the body that you lived in that past life, and well, we'll just go from there once we get into the body. I'm going to count to 3. At the sound of 3, you'll see yourself flying, floating over a forest or a tree, some sort of a place out in the wild. 1, 2, 3. And you're just flying. You can fly at the speed of thought. You're floating because you weigh less than air. You control where you're going, how fast with your thought. You can do turns, flips, go high, go low, whatever it is. Just do whatever it is. Recall who you really are. That's who you really are. That's how your spirit travels. If you have ever had, or when you do have an out-of-body experience and you astral travel, that's what you'll be doing. That's the way you travel. Now, as you're flying around, you'll see that down on the ground, in an opening in a field or somewhere, there's a person standing, and you'll become aware of that person. And you'll feel comfortable, and you will fly down, you'll draw in closer, 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 until you get in close enough that you can see this person. You can see their clothing. You'll be able to see what they're wearing. You'll be able to see what gender they are. And as you look at them, you'll just get a ballpark figure of their age group. Youth, teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. And just inspect this person. This is the body that you use. That's what you look like. Look at up and down the clothes. Now I want you to look at their feet. If there's a long dress, skirt, gown or something in the way, pull it aside. I want you to look at their feet. As soon as you see their feet, you are in that body, and you'll be able to review a life that you lived on planet Earth from the eyes of your old body. Pay attention to your feelings, always. When you're doing this type of work, always pay attention to your feelings. What does it feel like to be back in that body? If it's not such a positive feeling, that's the way that you felt about yourself in that past life. And if it's really good, happy feeling, then you were happy with yourself. You were good. You had a good life. Now I'm going to count to 3. And you'll be standing in front of where you lived at that particular time of that past life. 1, 2, 3. And wherever it is, if you're standing in front of a field, maybe you just lived in the field. Maybe you were that type of person. But if it's a building, structure, always pay attention to your feeling. When you first see something, an image of something in a past life, pay attention to your feeling. If you got to feel, oh no, not that, just that stomach knotted up a little. That's the way you actually felt about it in that life, at that particular time. But if you were happy to see it, that's the way that it was a happy home for you. Now I'm going to ask the question. The answer will be yes or no. Tell your guides it's still okay for them to give you the answer. Did you live there alone? Yes or no? And if the answer was no, then there were other people that lived there with you. I'm going to count to 3, and they will be standing in front of you. 1, 2, 3. And all the people that lived there at that house, your immediate family, they'll be standing there in front of you. And look at them. Again, pay attention to your feelings. As you look at each one, in the face, in the body, you'll know what role that they played